מה נשתנו הלילה הזה? מה נשתנו הלילה הזה?
מה נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות? Var was ist die dosige Nacht von Pesach anders von alle Nacht von a ganz Jahr?
is this night different from all other nights? Well, it's the Ezekiel's Wheels Passover party, or as we've started calling it, the Dayenu show. It would have been enough to have all of us together here on the internet tonight. It would have been enough to have new music to share. It would have been enough to have new music videos. It would have been enough to have amazing sponsors from Kolbo Fine Judaica, the Boston Synagogue, and the Burn. And it would have been enough to have special guests like Zach Mayer, Jeffrey Oskowitz, and Alan Silverberg. Yes, Dayenu. It would have been enough. But we also have a special raffle for a $180 gift certificate to Kolbo, where you can buy beautiful Jewish art and ritual objects from amazing local artists, like the Seder plate that we're using this week at our house. And you can still get tickets at ewklezmer.eventbrite.com until 7:45 p.m. They're $18 each, and each purchase comes with a complimentary download of the new music from tonight's show. So take a moment now, put your name in for a chance to win. But first, we're going to dance. So for the past year, Abigail has been teaching Yiddish dance at our online shows. And what does Yiddish dance look like with an online show? Abigail, what are we going to do?
Oh, I'm introducing this one.
Yeah.
This is a Bulgar.
Off to a good start.
You did so well, Nat. I'm just like, woo.
Off the bottom of the
I'm
script
with
now.
you. Yeah, no script for me.
We're off book now.
This is a Bulgar by Nat. It's just a really fun, a funky Bulgar. And in this video, I got to dance to it. Yes, that is what happened in this
Bulgar is
video.
the type of tune, and a Bulgar is the name of the dance that Abigail will be doing.
Yes,
Abigail,
exactly.
How many cats' toes are in the video?
I would say, oh gosh, you're asking me to do math right now. I'm gonna say like 52. Is that wild to say? I have two cats.
Is it just one cat? Is it the same cat the whole time?
No,
it's
it's
this
two
is a
different
spoiler.
cats.
We'll have a competition. Count the toes.
And while you're counting the toes, a guy in a gorilla suit is going to quietly walk through the back.
Let's roll the tape, guys.
Roll
All
the tape.
right. The
Here we go.
Bulgar.
Eén, twee, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
So I should say that my cats got me off in the dance steps. It's their fault. So
Oh, blame the cats.
yeah, blame the cats. They were struggling a little bit, but you know, I taught them the Bulgar and everybody was happy in the end, even though some were not. Anyways, we're gonna go on with the next question.
מה נשתנו הלילה הזה? מה נשתנו הלילה הזה?
Shabbachol Haleilos. Alle Nacht können wir essen, sei sitzen dich gleich, sei ungelehnt. Aber Haleila Hazeh. In der Dosiker Pesach Nacht essen wir alle ungelehnt. Now you may have noticed that we, in this Pesach Seder, which means order, we are going out of order with the questions, and I'm so sorry if that's sacrilegious, but it fit for our concert.
That's my one. That's my one.
Thanks, Pete.
You could have just brought the trombone.
Yeah, that's true.
But it fit for our concert, and that's what we're doing. So send your complaints to EWKB.
No, don't give him that.
So, on all other nights, we eat sitting up, but tonight we got to recline. And to help us get into the groove and relax, we've got one of my favorite Boston area musicians. This guy is fourth in a line of cantors, of Jewish prayer leaders. He's also the Barry sax in a YouTube video you may have seen called the Subway Sax Battle that's garnered over 1.4 million views. And he's releasing his second album called Zamru. I think we'll hear a little more about that. This is Zach Mayer.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here in this really nice, very warm, Hamish virtual space.
It's that wood background that really does it, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for that beautiful introduction, John. And it's true. Just about 2 weeks ago, I released my second album of Jewish music, and it's called Zamru, which means "Let's Sing" in Hebrew. And it's filled with beautiful, it's really filled with meditations and songs that came to me over this past year, some before the pandemic, some during the pandemic, but all of which were recorded during the pandemic in my own coat closet. I set up a little studio, and it was a lot of fun making all this music. And so what you'll hear now is one of the tracks from this album. It's called Shiru Ladonai. And I'll ask for you, even though you've not heard it before, to please sing along. It means sing unto the divine presence, new song. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash, shir chadash, shir chadash. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash, shir chadash, shir chadash. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, kol haaretz, kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai baruch shemo, baruch shemo, baruch shemo. Oy oy oy, shiru Ladonai baruch shemo, baruch shemo, baruchu. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shir chadash, shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shir chadash, shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, kol haaretz, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, kol haaretz, kol haaretz. Oy, 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 shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo, baruchu shemo, baruchu shemo. Oy, 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 shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo, baruchu shemo, baruchu. Oy, 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 shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo, baruchu shemo, baruchu shemo. Oy, 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 shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo, baruchu shemo,
Yay!
Yeah, nice job, Zach.
Oh my god,
So
I can't wait to be able to play
beautiful.
along with that in person. I was just struck out over here.
Yeah, and singing with you. Yeah, it was so beautiful, Zach. Thank you. And you guys can, here's his Bandcamp up here. You can
Yeah, give
check
his
out
album.
his album, see where he's performing next. I mean, we're all performing online next.
Yeah,
Right here.
Zach, are there any upcoming shows for you or anything you want to promote?
The thing that I've been promoting lately is my Patreon page, which is, I think, the
Cool.
best way to support the creation of new music. So if you that's basically a subscription, basically where you get to sign up for a monthly. You sign up for what it is you get to join a little community of artists, of folks who love art and music lovers, where we go deep into conversation, and also I kind of break down my song creation process as well, taking a little bit deep dive into the technology aspects of it too. So that's on patreon.com. If you search my name, you could find that.
Cool.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
thanks so much, Zach.
thank you so much for being here. And you got some comments. Some people are saying beautiful, very cool.
Thank you.
We got another
Yeah.
baritone sax player saying hello from Chicago in the comments.
Woo!
Well, thanks, Zach.
Yeah,
And we will see you on stage sometime in the future.
hopefully. Yeah.
Yes, hope
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
Having
here.
me, everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
Wow. He's such
Oh,
like
I
a
love
little, I know, you're such a little gremlin over there with your
I know.
soundboard.
I just
Well,
love
we don't-
noises.
We don't have an audience, so we have to create them. I mean, we have an audience, but not one that we can hear their clapping.
Right, we can't hear
can't
you.
hear you. Right, if you're clapping right now, you can put a clap in the chat and we'll see it. That's good.
Oh yeah, clap in the chat. Well, maybe
Every
even
time
share.
someone claps in the chat, Pete's going to make that noise.
Oh,
I have
boy.
this just for when I practice. I have this next to me, so every time I play something, I just it's a little reward,
Nice little boost.
positive reinforcement.
I do that with chocolate chips.
Mm.
How do they clap?
Every time I practice, like, if I have to repeat something all the time, I'll do one repetition and then eat one chocolate chip.
Right.
Is this something you started when you were very little, or is this something?
Nope.
Chocolate works, guys. It's neuroscience.
Yeah.
Well, continuing on with new music, or I should say new arrangements at least, we've got our next video that we're going to debut tonight is for a song called Rachel, or Rachel, and it's written by Eliza Greenblatt. So Eliza Greenblatt also wrote the song Fischerlied, which was the first Yiddish song, I should say, that we learned and arranged together. And you can hear that arrangement on our album, The Thread, as well as most of our live concerts when those exist in the world. But Eliza Greenblatt wrote a lot of poetry, and she made a collection of 10 Yiddish songs. I believe it was published in like 1939, so it's old set of songs. And Fischerlied's definitely the most well-known and widely recorded of those songs, but we've also been going through the other 9 of those songs in that collection, and just to see what else she wrote. And John really connected with this particular song. And so in this collection, it's a pretty bare bones information that you get from it, because it's basically one melody line, one verse set to that melody, and then a whole bunch of blocks of Yiddish text below it, all in old non-standard Yiddish. So we had very little to work with, but we had a melody line, we had a whole bunch of verses, and we added chords to it. We added a Turkisher rhythm, which is the bum, ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-bum, bum. It's very stiff, very march-like. You'll hear it the entire time. We also paired it with another tune that you'll hear kind of woven throughout as well. And because all the verses were printed in this non-standard Yiddish, we brought in our friend and Yiddish instructor, Jonah Sidman, to help us with translation and place the other verses to the music, to make sure that everything sounds right with the other verses as well. So thank you so much to Jonah for helping us with that way back when we first started this.
A pandemic project of pandemic projects started a year ago, and
it's true.
We've been playing with it ever since.
It's true. So this song, Rachel, it roughly translates to, it's very moody, but it roughly translates to, tell me of this place where you're from, brother, where the Sea of Galilee sounds like a violin and stretches miles into the distance, where Rachel sang her song and rested by the banks of the water. I want to rest there because I am tired from exile, so please tell me of this place, and perhaps it will ease my heart, for I am dying of longing. Very pandemic-friendly material here. Also, a big shout out to Pete for editing this video together. There's a lot of ocean footage from the North Shore and some special effects that he figured out. So thank you, Pete, and enjoy.
Sollst mir als der Yankee nähren, ist wie ein Viertel, was spielt Lied. Und ich will mein Liebenkopf dort legen, weil ich wie in Fundolles Lied. Und ich will mein Liebenkopf dort legen, weil ich wie in Fundolles
Wonderful job, everyone.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
endeavor.
Yeah. Yeah, Pete, can you tell us more about how you made that happen?
Well, I guess starting with the idea, I mean, it's funny that you, Kirsten, had sort of similar thoughts. I kind of hesitated to draw the connections to our present situation of, you know, the longing for the outside, I guess. But that's kind of what I was thinking the whole time, making that. I mean, there's definitely the ocean imagery and the poetry, and that sense of longing, and the line about the ocean is like a violin that really kind of jumped out at me. So I decided to make the violin an ocean, I guess. Through the course of that. But yeah, I think not to talk about the technical stuff, but just I'm learning a lot of the video editing stuff this year. That's sort of been a pandemic project, so I maybe unloaded on that one, doing that stuff. But yeah, I think having the ocean imagery and how do I get that in the same video when we're all stuck in our separate rooms, those are kind of two different things. So it was just kind of like a puzzle how to bring those two kind of, the outside and the inside was sort of what I was going for, being in the same place. So yeah, hope you guys liked it. I should say, oh, thanks. I got questions, or I've had questions from our last streams, like I guess maybe it's not super clear, but we recorded all this stuff separately, from the videos to the audio. Like all of us, it's kind of like a game of telephone a little bit. One person does their recording, sends it out. The next person does it on theirs. On their end. Yeah.
And that kind of leads into what I wanted to say is that this song was really like, we decided that we would play it during the pandemic. So we weren't really able to rehearse it or arrange it per se. And we all just, like, John started, then Kirsten went, then Nat went, then I went, then Pete went. And we didn't really talk. We had kind of a basic arrangement, but we didn't talk much about it. And it just ended up the way it ended up without even communicating. And I felt like we were all really sensitive to the vision of the song, or just the whole picture.
Especially fun for the person who was at the beginning of the chain of telephone to just see what came together around it.
I like being that at the end, because then I can just like take everybody's licks and then just harmonize them, and then it sounds like I worked them out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked being where I was because like I was after Nat, so I could just fill in the spaces that he didn't fill in, and I really appreciated that he left spaces for me to fill in. So it was great. It was a good. I was skeptical at first, but it was a good process.
Available on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I think we will put the translation up in the. I think all of these videos will be on YouTube, of course, but we'll put the translation up. Maybe caption it or something like that.
Yeah. Also, I should say that if you look real close, my cat is in the corner, and that was why I was smiling during my violin solo, because she was threatening that she was going to jump kind of down in front of me.
Yeah, my.
That's gonna get like its union card after all the screen time.
I know. Anyways, we should go to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
What is the next thing?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me. Okay, I'll do it real quick. So we made another video. We kind of had this theme. It came out because we want to play music together, and we're tired of playing with drones or one after another because you can't coordinate online playing music together. So we wanted to make all these videos, and it was really a fun process. It's a lot of work, but especially for Pete, but a really fun process. And so we did a hora, and I wrote this one, and I also danced it. And if you're not familiar with it, a hora, it's not the hora that you might know, the fast one where you're in a circle and just running around in a circle. This is a slower one. It's in kind of like an uneven 3, and it's really one of my favorites to dance. So I hope you enjoy it.
מה נשתנו הלילה הזה? מה נשתנו הלילה הזה?
Shadow Halelois, alle Nacht essen wir Kolle Gritzen, aber Halaila Hazeh. In der Dose Nacht, Maror, Blois, Bittere, Kreitecher.
Nat, what are you reading?
Oh, hey, everyone. Didn't see you there. While we're talking about bitter herbs and Jewish food in general, it seems like a good moment for another guest. So I met our next guest at the reenactment of the famed Treifa banquet that J. Arts put on in the summer of 2019. The last summer we had banquets, and he was our host and our guide through the wonders of Ashkenazi cuisine. So much so that he actually wrote a book and founded a gefilteria with his long-term collaborator, Liz Alpern. That's when I thought we met, but we actually just found out this week that we went to college together, and he lived with one of my friends and bandmates, and even saw me and John perform back with Yarmul Kasi. So the world is a delightfully interconnected place, and we are so excited to welcome Jeffrey Yaskowitz.
Oh, hey there.
Hey, Jeffrey, what are we making today?
How's it going? You caught me right in the middle of making matzah for Pesach.
Oh, wow. What timing.
Yeah, I'm literally rolling out some matzahs now. I can take a moment.
It's good of you.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, we don't want to take too much of your time, but while you're here, you were telling us earlier today about big matzah, and I'm so curious, what on earth does that mean, and why should we care?
Have you heard of big tobacco?
Vaguely.
Okay, it's kind of like big tobacco. No, it's a little bit different. I'm just kidding there. But big matzah is industrial matzah. This is the matzah we call the bread of affliction. We laugh about it. We make fun of it. American Judaism is centered around how bad it is. They give it out for free if you spend enough money at the supermarket. And what do you know? You can make your own matzah really easily, and it's really good. It's just like, here, I was making these bagel matzahs. Oh, this is my everything bagel matzah here.
Wow.
You can make your own matzah. You can even make it square, and it's so much better. And it's just this lie we've been fed. We have to buy, subpar bread of affliction. It doesn't have to be so afflicted. We don't have to be so afflicted by the bread we're consuming on Passover.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it religiously permissible for it to taste good?
Well, so that's a great question, because technically, if you really want to be, full kosher, machmir, all that, you're not supposed to add any salt to it, right? You can't add everything bagel seasoning like I just did. But and of course, we're talking within my 18-minute window here of the water hitting the flour, and it can't leaven, all that. That said, there's a lot to work with here. If you use good quality flour and water, it's not bad. And for me, Passover, what is it for me? I put butter and I put cream cheese on my matzah every single day. And if you got good cream cheese, you get great salted butter. Matzah can be great.
Geschmack.
Geschmack. Exactly. So I'm really into getting people to make their own matzah this year. I started last year. This is, I was kind of watching this pandemic concert it's pretty amazing a year in how you figured this all out. And it seems like you've mastered the form. I've had to cook online. You might make music online. It's not ideal. Live music so much better. Cooking online is so much harder and worse. So you can't eat, you can't smell, you can't take all the senses. That said, I started last Passover making matzah on these Zoom workshops with different communities. And the really cool thing was people were doing it. They actually were making the matzah. But for me, my whole shtick, like with Ashkenazi food, is if you do it well, it can be fantastic. So I make my own knedlach, my matzah balls, from my own matzah. I break it up, I crush it, and I form it into these delicious dumplings, and you can literally see the texture of the matzah, and it is so much better.
Cookie butter of our ancestors.
Say that again?
I said it's like the cookie butter of our ancestors. That's the last thing where you make the thing, crush it down. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, yes, exactly. So I'm all about this is a hard pass. I'm not really into this Passover. Like last pandemic Passover, that was enough. Dayenu. That said, little things you can do to make it special. Make your own matzah.
So we don't have 18 minutes here, but if people wanted to make their own matzah, just give us like the 2-minute version. Like, how do we do it?
Okay, I'll do it very quick. Okay, so you want to start with some flour. So if you were really religious, you'd have a special flour, which is the same as this flour, but it says it's protected and guarded and extra kosher. But really, it's guaranteed that no moisture made its way into the flour. But if you could just buy all-purpose flour, and I'm going to do about 1.5 cups of flour, and so I'm going to do that. And meanwhile, my oven is on at 475. Okay, so my oven's hot, and keep in mind, in the shtetl, you weren't making matzah at home. Your oven couldn't get that hot. What you did was you procured the flour, and then you would get it to the baker who'd make matzahs from his oven for the whole town. This is one of the many communal food ways of the shtetl days. You'd also bring your cholents to the communal oven, where it would cook in the dying embers of the fire, and then you'd go pick it up, usually the kids, and sometimes there were confusions and mix-ups, and you'd get the wrong cholent, too many beans, not enough meat. You get the deal. But the communal oven was was a center of the shtetl culturally. So we're making this at home. So this is a little bit modern here, but we got 1.5 cups of flour, and I have room temperature water, a little bit over 1/2 cup. I'm going to mix it in the minute, the second, the nanosecond it goes into the flour, 18 minutes, counting, okay? And I got to get this into the oven, and I got to roll it out. So we're not going to do all that. We don't have enough time. I'm just going to, I'll mix it in right now. Now I start with a fork, and I form a really simple basic dough. And I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to quickly cheat because we're on camera. And I have, look at this dough I formed. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Amazing, yeah.
And then you're going to roll it out. And for some reason, I think maybe I was caught up in the beautiful music, the videos, the seascapes, the cats, that somehow my matzah that I was making while watching you all was just the worst matzah I've made all day. I don't know why. I think I was just so bewitched, I guess. But I'm just going to roll out. I'm going to make sure I have a nice floured surface. It can be a little sticky. I'm flouring my rolling pin. I'm just going to roll this out. And I'm going to roll it. And I'm going to always you roll from the middle up, middle down. You want to get it as thin as possible. We're not going for this thin as lox. If you slice it, you want to read the New York Times through it. But you want to get it as thin as you can get it. Not as thin as a knish dough, which is a much thinner dough, like a strudel dough. And I'm going to keep on rolling it. It's getting a little sticky. And for the sake of time, I know you guys have a concert. I have one that I rolled out here. I pierced it with some fork holes. And it's like, it's homemade. It's not going to look, I cut off the edges so it looks a little square. And I'm just going to literally throw it into the oven. I have a hot pan upside down. I'm going to throw it on there. 3 minutes on each side. I'm going to take it out. And it's going to look just like this.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's so easy.
It's so easy.
I've got all the ingredients at home.
It takes 18 minutes, max 25. You need it to make maybe 4 matzahs. If you can make more, if you work with a team, you have a partner, you have a few people on hand, you can churn out matzahs for friends in an hour. It's amazing.
So there's one other knowledge bomb that you dropped on us earlier that I just feel like everyone listening should know. You told us about big matzah, and then we were like, oh, have you heard about the biggest matzah? And you were like, that's not exciting. What's actually exciting is the biggest matzah oven.
Yeah. So when you enter into the world of Jewish food production, so I have a company, we make gefilte fish, which by the way is available at Mamala's for Passover. Mamala's Deli in Cambridge. Artisanal gefilte fish. But once you get inducted into this world of other Jewish food professionals. So I was invited to the Manischewitz factory, which is now in Newark. I've been to the Streitz factory, the Gold's factory, all the factories. And I met all the Manischewitz team, and they showed me their oven, which is the longest oven, at least in North America, possibly the world. And literally the matzah is, because it takes 18 minutes from start to finish, and they mix it, the machine mixes together the flour and the water, and then pulls out these sheets and sheets of matzah, actually really thin sheets. So one sheet of matzah from Manischewitz or Streitz, those matzahs, it's literally like 20 thin matzahs compressed into one, and then it just cuts them and pierces them, and you can watch this as it all goes down this oven and heats as it goes along. And it is, honestly, it's cool. The Streitz factory, which closed on the Lower East Side, was even cooler because it used to, I'm not sure if anyone's been there, but it like dropped dough from the second floor of an old tenement down to the oven on the first floor, and it went all around multiple tenements that were configured into some crazy oven contraption. So as much as I rail on Big Matzah, it's kind of cool what was built in the early 20th century, I gotta say.
Wow.
So awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing this evening with us. If people want to get your food, I think we flashed it up on the screen, but we'll do it again. It's the Gefilteria. So you can follow them on Instagram, go to the website. Also, I love your book, and so I'm just going to pitch it. It's the Gefilte Manifesto. We totally cook out of this. It's too much fun.
Well, thank you. I wanted to say that the work that I feel like I do with Ashkenazi, Eastern European culture through food, it's very similar to the work through Yiddish and music that's happening, that you guys are doing. We're part of a similar renaissance of Ashkenazi culture. And so for me, it's really fun and exciting to get to be a part of something like this. And for me, it's all deeply intertwined as well. So I'm so grateful to get to be a part of it. Thank you all. And thank you for doing what you do.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Bye, Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Matzah. So should we do another question?
Let's ask.
Let's do it. מה נשתנו הלילה הזה? מה נשתנו הלילה הזה?
Shabbacho halelois. Alle Nacht darfen wir nicht eintuken, afilu einmal euch nicht, aber haleila hazeh. In der dosiger Nacht tunken wir ein, zweimal. And we did this one because you can dip twice, but this next video has more than two of something.
Wait, what? Was there any logic?
Very smooth.
So good at this. That's amazing. It is a counting video because it's all about numbers. So I think that's what we're going for, right?
That's it.
So
Nailed it.
we're gonna do a song about a goat, but because it's the pandemic, we didn't have any goats, so I had to use my son Benny's llama, whose name is Dolly, as the star of the video.
So the only thing keeping you from having a goat was the pandemic? You would have had a goat otherwise?
There were big plans in the works.
Okay,
Yeah.
just clarify.
I love goats.
On record now, so see what happens in the future.
When we don't want to answer a question, we pretend to be frozen.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Take it away.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it.
Very good.
I know we were supposed to watch that before the show, but I didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah, that was the first time you saw that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! I'm like writing in the private chat. I'm like, what? Oh my god! This is amazing,
All
Nat.
right. Oh, that was trippy. Okay, great.
I want this music in my headphones when I'm running.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Help support the band. We are going crazy.
Oh my gosh. We're running. Time is running. Okay, so let's
Great.
go to the
Okay.
next thing. Great job, Nat. That was awesome. Everything. Video, sound, all of it. Benny's toys. Amazing. So this next video that we have, I'm super excited about because we got to pull in a lot of guests in. This is a Hosa. It was written by Kirsten. Yep, here we go, mirror image. It was written by Kirsten. And we were just so lucky to have some amazing dance guests. We had Steve Weintraub join us on this video, made a video with Kirsten's
I see him
music.
perusing
And
the comments. Hi, Steve.
oh yeah. Hi, Steve.
Thank you.
And then we also had Sonia Golens, who is I forgot to say, Steve is a Yiddish dance leader. And if you ever need a Yiddish dance leader for any of your events, you should hire him for sure. He's amazing. Just wonderful, wonderful dancer and leader and all around everything. And then Sonia, we also had in this video. And then we had a couple other incredible guests. Oh, Sonia is a Yiddish dance scholar, among many other things. So, and then we had a wonderful dancing couple and a couple other people. So I really hope you enjoy it. Yay! Thanks so much, everyone. And I forgot to say, a Hosa is an improvisatory kind of dance, and it's just so much fun to do,
I've got to get
especially
one
in
of
a
those Steve Weintraub jackets. That's so nice.
I know. It's excellent. Thanks again to all of our guests. It was just purely delightful to get the videos in, for sure. So, is this our last question?
Also the first. Take it away.
All right.
מה נשתנו הלילה הזה? מה נשתנו הלילה הזה?
שבכל הלילות alle Nacht essen wir das Zeichen mit seinem Matzah, aber Leila Hazeh. In der dosigen Nacht nur Matzah.
Yeah, so bringing us into our matzah portion of the evening is our special guest and author, Alan Silverberg. So we met Alan a couple years ago when he was looking for a klezmer band to play for at his Boston book launch of his children's Hanukkah book, Meet the Lakas. And and when Alan first reached out to us, John looked him up and discovered that he also worked for Nickelodeon back in the 90s and wrote for shows that we all grew up watching. Not to age Alan too much, but we all very much enjoyed your work at Nickelodeon as children. So there was no way that we were not going to play for the person who wrote the hit song Killer Tofu. So Alan just published a Passover book called Meet the Matzah. And it's a very kid-friendly retell. Yeah, we all have one. It's a very kid-friendly retelling of the Passover story. So please welcome Alan Silverberg to the show to talk more about his new book.
That's a wonderful surprise. Yes, Killer Tofu. I hope I get a royalty from that.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
My wife uses that to teach high vowels and low vowels.
Oh, really? Hysterical. Well, I'm so thrilled to be seeing you all again. I guess Abigail, we didn't meet last time when I was at the Brookline Booksmith, but it was such a mitzvah that you guys agreed, basically for the price of a book, to come and accompany me on my silly book launch. And thank you again, and thank you for inviting me tonight to talk about Meet the Matzah. I have to get used to this. Meet the Matzah. Now, after doing the Latke book, which was very silly, and it was a retelling of the Hanukkah story with Grandpa going wild about alien potatoes from outer space, I came up with a different way to tell the Passover story by featuring a matzah who goes to school, and I came up with the name, well, I stole the bad pun name, Afikomen. So Afikomen goes to school with all his little bread friends, and it's the assignment to tell your favorite holiday story, and he tries to tell the story of Passover, but Loaf, the bully, the sourdough, takes over.
Oh no. That's suspense.
Suspense.
There we go.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh,
You're back.
come back.
It had to happen to one of us.
Of course.
Maybe he just doesn't want to answer the question.
Right.
Matzah. He's just like you, except he's bread. Unleavened bread. No yeast for this guy. That's Afikomen. He likes lots of things. I think I'm frozen, I'm told.
You're
We're
back.
You're back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes lots of things. He likes to go to the movies. He likes his braided best friend. Hallelujah. And Afikomen really likes to hide. And I think I don't want to give the whole story away, but because Loaf takes over the Passover story and makes up his stuff, these are the 10 plagues, according to Loaf. The 10 plagues. Plague number 1, no Wi-Fi.
Terrible.
Plague number 2, early bedtime.
Ugh.
The third plague, birthday clowns. And Bernie Toast says, I hate clowns. The fourth plague is pimples. The fifth plague, broccoli for dessert. The sixth plague, nightmares. The seventh plague, bad haircuts. And I think I know something about that. The eighth plague is slug soup. The ninth plague is bagpipes. And the worst plague of all, indoor recess forever.
Oh.
So
As a teacher,
it's a very funny book.
Worst.
Kids are laughing. I'm getting a lot of great feedback. It ends very well, and it's the story really of the retelling of Passover with a bully, because the Pharaoh, or in my book, the Pharaoch, was a big bully. So what I do when I go to temples and I go to schools, and I've been doing it on Zoom, is I teach some doodling about how to make the characters, but in a really simple way. So my main character, Afikomen, is a square, sort of. Doesn't have to be a real square. See, it's kind of off a little bit because
That's what Jeffrey was showing us. Exactly.
That's right. Where's Jeffrey? Bring him back. Oh, I met Jeffrey at the great big Jewish food fest last year, which was another first online event. Just like tonight, it was just so warm and wonderful. You guys are doing a great job. All right, so you start with a bad square. Legs are just sticks. The eyes are just big circles. And if you put dots in them, and then an easy smile, sticks for arms, sticks for fingers. And because it's matzah with the little burn marks, I like to put these little dot things.
It's very noble of you to give away the secrets of your trade like this.
Oh, it's okay. It's not copywritten. Squares have been around forever. In fact, so have circles. And I'll end with this because you did talk about my first book, Meet the Lockies, and I should say that there is a third book coming. So when your Purim party begins next year, please invite me to do Meet the Hamantasha. So if you can make a bad circle, that's a bad circle. And then put 2 big circles in it and join them and put a line on the side, dots, and then a really goofy mouth and lines up here. You get the character from Meet the Lockies.
I remember him.
Yes, Grandpa Locky. And I like to put little dots. As Jeffrey, I'm sure, would agree, you need to burn your Lockies a little bit. So
everything's burned just a little bit.
Well, especially this year, we're all a little bit. So that's 2 of my characters. I'm never good with the camera. I did write Killer Tofu. Thank you for that introductory music. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you 2 years ago for being my backup band. And Meet the Matzah. It's a fun story. I think the tradition should be when you hide the Afikomen, you also hide Afikomen with him. So you find the book and the matzah. Just a thought. Thank you, everybody, and have a very, very happy Passover. I love boogieing with the music. It's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for the
much
book.
for coming.
Thanks so much, Alan.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
So that's actually a perfect segue, because we're going to talk about trying to find the Afikomen soon, and we're just so happy to have Alan as part of the Ezekiel's Wheels family. You know, one of the fun things about this pandemic for us has been the ability to hang out with people who are in Brooklyn or in Montreal or really far away, and it's just the same as if they were down the street. And if you want to comment where you're watching from, we might give you a shout out after this. You never know. Anyway, so while we're talking about matzah, we're going to introduce a brand new song we call The Hunt for the Afikomen. And I want to just give a special shout out to our friends at Kolbo Fine Judaica, because they let us into their store before ours so that I could look for that pesky piece of dried out dough in all of the areas that would have made so much sense for it to be. And just for everyone else who is here, if you see something you like, don't forget, you could literally get it in less than 10 minutes by entering our raffle. It's for $180 to spend at Kolbo. We have really beautiful stuff by local artists and folks actually from all over the world. So you can get tickets at ewklezmer.eventbrite.com. And you can do it right now because pretty soon after this, we're going to do the raffle drawing. By the way, each purchase comes with a complimentary download of the music from tonight's show. You won't get it right now because we're still doing it, but we'll make sure we send it to you in a few days. And we're going to draw for the winner right after we find the Afikomen, which hopefully won't take too much longer. I had a funny feeling as I scrambled from the room that I would be the one to find the matzah soon. The Afikomen's broken half. My father-in-law's having quite the laugh, but I will be the one to find the matzah. Yes, I'm an the dried up piece of dough. Historically, the children choose to find the sweet dessert, but Betty's still so young, I think I'll get there first. It wasn't in the dining room or kitchen, bathtub, closet, still I will be the one to find the matzah. We're gonna get creative with this hunt. We're running out of options in our sheltered quarantine, and Mesha's making sure I know the matzah's still unseen. He must have hid it far away. Aha, I know just where. Don't say there's just one place that he would hide the half a matzah. We're going to the Coolidge Corner store. That's it. Where would I hide the Afikomen else but here, where Seder plates and matzah trays are all around so near? But would he be so artful as to lay it in the obvious place? Oh well, it's worth a try. But even Moses got 10 plays. I'll try the books or music rack under the shofars. There's a whole stack. I'll not allow this cracker to elude me. I'm gonna get the matzah or I'm done. Each year there's just one shot to find the Afikomen. Surely now's my time, I will not blunder. Hold on. This is a thing that happens every so often now and then. The Afikomen finds its way across the town and then it ships off to a different place, but I never face it in my face. It's gone away for good and I will never see it. I feel like Pharaoh watching as the Red Sea closes tight. The Afikomen's got away. I'll probably find it in 3 years. The Afikomen's got away. Behind a stack of movie young. The Afikomen's got away. Oh, or maybe he hid it in the crawl space. The Afikomen's got away tonight. Matzah, matzah, yama mama 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 matzah, yama mama mama mama. Wait a second, they call this dessert? This tastes like.
Nice.
Wow.
Another natural masterpiece.
We found it.
I just speechless.
I feel like you didn't actually watch our videos before the show, Abigail.
I didn't watch those 2 videos that came in today. Before the show.
Other secrets.
Hot off the press. Hot off the
Yeah.
presses.
Right.
So special shout out to Alana from Kolbo. She's the one who actually found the matzah. I did not, obviously. I think we've reached the point where we do two things, right? One, we give shout outs to all the people who told us where they were from. So shout out to Val from Cambridge, to Molly from Clayton, Missouri, to Susan from Shelton, Connecticut, to Sheila from Houston, to Jason from Brooklyn, to Madam Landsman from Newton. Oh my goodness, we've got rural Mass we're also hiding things in. Thank you to everyone for listening. If you have bought a raffle ticket, now is your shot, because I'm about to pull a number from this empty box of matzah that is literally just full of pieces of paper, and we're going to see who gets $180. Okay, it's going to number 27, but none of us know what that means yet, because we're just going to give it a minute. We have to actually download the report.
We need another drum roll.
I need a drum roll to the drum roll now.
Drum rolls.
Yeah,
Wait,
keep going.
How do we know we have the right number of numbers in there? People have just...
Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right.
It's randomized. It's good. It's good. I still need a longer drum roll. This is ridiculous. Like, who rolls a drum that short? You're like, this is the same drum roll.
There's only one drum roll.
Oh, who made this?
Who does multiple drum rolls? Can't slow it down. Wind chime?
Wind chime. Yeah, we'll do a wind chime.
Yeah, we've totally mastered the online concert. Haven't quite mastered the online raffle yet.
It takes longer. And the winner is...
Oh, wait. Now, okay.
That's the wrong thing, man. That's the wrong thing. Janet Fine. Janet, come on up. We can't actually invite you up here, but that's okay. We've got your email. So Janet, congratulations. We will reach out to you after this. For everyone else who entered, you're all winners too, because you're getting the music from the show, and we're going to send it your way once the files are ready. I think we've got something left to do, and I think Pete's going to do it. Am I right?
No,
I think so. This is my one job.
Yeah, this is your one job.
My one job. My one job in a live concert is to introduce the band, which is completely ridiculous in this context, but nonetheless, give it up at home for Abigail Reisman. Kirsten. Sorry, there we go.
Play the pause.
Dan. John. I don't think we've actually said our band name, but what's that?
Oh, it just makes it feel more like a sitcom that way.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, I was like freeze frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
We are Ezekiel's Wheels klezmer band, and all the music that you've heard tonight will be available on our Bandcamp, ewklezmer.bandcamp.com. Check it out. Check our YouTube out to watch these videos again. And yeah, thanks for being a part of this. Oh, and if you want to support us, shameless plug, please feel free to Venmo or PayPal us. We'd appreciate it. We hope to be gigging live soon, but until then, any donations from you, our awesome fans, would be really appreciated. So thanks for tuning in tonight, and all those people tuning in after the fact on syndication.
And we just want to give a special thank you to our sponsors and partners for this evening: Kolbo Fine Judaica, the Boston Synagogue, and the Burin. This was the first time we did a takeout and a show option, and it was really nice that we actually got to partner with our old friends at the Burin. Hopefully we'll be playing there soon. But even so, it's always good to be a part of a community. Thanks to Zach, to Jeffrey, and to Alan for joining the family tonight.
And thanks to the Hosa guests.
Oh, the Hosa guests. There were so many people involved. Thanks to my family for being there for me and also yelling at me on video. I'd say this has been just enough just about enough. What do you think, Kirsten?
Yeah, so we're going to wrap everything up with Passover's hit song, Dayenu, which means it would have been enough, or it would have been sufficient. And so it's basically about a song all about gratitude for all the special events that happened throughout the Passover story. So, it would have been enough for the Jews to be freed from Egypt. It would have been enough for the Red Sea to part. It would have been enough to survive 40 years in the desert, etc., etc. So the song is all about good fortune. And so I am going to lead us in a Yiddish version of this song. Usually it's sung in Hebrew during the Passover Seder, but we're going to do a Yiddish version written by I.J. Schwartz. And this is also a secular version. So the song has no mention of any divine power. So feel free to join no matter what your religious affiliation. And the chorus is still the same. I'm going to play it on the banjo of all things. Surprise, surprise. So here we go. Here's the chorus. I'll start with the chorus so you can get a little review if you forgot or if you need to learn it. So here we go. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Wollten wir nur von Mitzrayim lichtlich ausgelöst geworden, nur der Jam sich nicht geschwolten, Dayenu. Wollt der Jam sich schon gespalten, nur im Durchgehen in der Truppen, wollten Dämmel nicht gegolten, Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu. Wollten wir in Scheuner River nicht gekannt, nur überkommen 40 Jahre in Größen mit der Dayenu. Wollten wir die 40 Jahre schon in dem mit der Döpfungen und Gilmol nur die gefunden, Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Wollten wir dort morgen gefunden, nur den Schabbes nicht bekommen und zum Sinai nicht gefunden, Dayenu. Wollten wir zum Sinai kommen, nur die Teure nicht bekommen, 12 Teure nicht geworden, Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. One more time. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu.
Yay!
Yay!
Here's another banjo.
Yeah. See what else happens in quarantine?
We forgot to say it's very special that song was in Yiddish. It's not it's not always done in Yiddish. And also we did our 4 questions in Yiddish. If you were wondering, if it didn't sound so familiar, it had a little bit of Hebrew and a little bit of Yiddish in it. So.
And also the way that it's transliterated on the screen in English is also the Yiddish transliteration. I saw some comments in the chat about why is it D-A-Y. So that would be die in Yiddish transliteration. So of course,
Dayenu different from all other Dayenu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks for spending your Thursday night with us.
Yeah, this has been so much fun. We should do this some other time. What do you guys say?
Yeah. Or maybe live.
Let's go live. Let's go live.
Let's do it. Pete, do we have exit music?
Yeah, a little goodbye. Yeah. Are we ready to say goodbye? I'm not ready to say goodbye.
Well,
I guess we have to.
We're
at the end of the script.
Yeah, we have nothing else. It was enough. Dayenu.
It was enough.
Dayenu.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching. See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Good job. Bye.
Passover.